Hello, everyone. You're welcome to TM Handcrafts, where we impact lives by learning how to sew, make beautiful handcrafts, start up a fashion business, and earn money. To my returning subscribers, you're welcome. If you're here for the first time, you're welcome as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. Today we are going to be learning how to make a graduation tassel. Here I have two different types of graduation tassels. First with the wool and the other one with your thread. These are very easy ways of making a graduation tassel and it's not going to stress you. Now let's begin. First of all, you're going to measure out a wool of about 13 inches. This is just the normal wool you can buy from the market or from your streets or anywhere in your area. Then after measuring out 13 inches of the wool, you begin to roll it out just like that. You keep on rolling it out. God's arms are always open wide. All you need is to believe. It doesn't matter what you're going through, yeah. It doesn't matter how far you've gone. God's arms are always open wide. All you need is to believe, yeah. All things are possible when you call on His name. All things are possible. So now you have to cut out the wool. I just had to stretch them out and remove the ones that are unequal. Yeah, just like that. So now what you have to do is to find a way to first of all make them equal, then fix it into the hole at the bottom. This button has already been self-covered. I used the same material for the graduation gown and the graduation cap to cover the button. You can take it to those people that do it just with a little amount of money. They will help you cover the button. You have to go with part of the material, just a little bit of the material, depending on how many buttons you want to cover. Yeah, so I have found a way to put insert the wool into the button hole. So now what you have to do is to divide this wool into three places because you are going to be braiding it just like the way you braid your hair. Yeah, basically. So you're going to be braiding it all the way. Just watch how I'm doing it step by step, just like that. Gently, you'll get there. And please, if you don't know how to braid, this other method on the screen will be very easy for you. You just have to twist, cut it into two places and twist. If you don't know how to braid, yeah, because I know it's not everybody that knows how to braid. So if you can braid, just do well to twist. That'll be very much easy for everyone, I guess. So at this point, you will want to take about two strands of the wool and roll it over, then tie very firmly. You can do that a couple of times to ensure that the tying is very strong. So now you also have to roll out the wool again just like you did the first time, but this time you're rolling out about 6 inches of wool, unlike the first time where you rolled out 13 inches. This time it's going to be 6 inches, just like that. And you cut it out. Cut that out, then trim. You should also do well to remove the ones that are unequal. And now what you have to do is that you're going to spread out the wool on your table, differentiate it equally, then take the wool that you've braided, place it at the center of the first wool you placed on your table, then cover it up with the other one. Make sure you cover that part where you tied, then tie it. This time when you're tying, make sure you're tying above the part where you tied initially. Make your tying to be very strong. You can tie as many times as possible to make sure that it's very strong, because you won't want a situation whereby you make a tassel for someone and it ends up losing up. It won't be professional at all. So you can see that our tassel is getting shape little by little. Dress that out, because you know how funny wool can be most times. Just trying to smoothen it up. So after doing that, you're going to take another strand of wool, tie it. You can see the part where I'm tying it up. Roll it and roll it. All things are possible when you call on His name. All things are possible in Jesus' name. All things are possible when you call on His name. All things are possible in Jesus' name. So now I'm done tying it. So you just have to cut out the ends of the strand of wool which you used in tying. And if you watch, there is a gap between where I started tying and where I ended. You just have to make a space and make the tying a bit longer Then you trim that off. So this is it, but we are not yet done. We still have more work to do to make this tassel come out more beautiful. Okay, this is what it looks like for now. So in order to make this tassel more attractive, what I did was to cut out this item used in beautifying clothes. I just had to cut out a bit of that to make sure our tassel comes out more beautiful and looking professional. So we are going to be making use of this hot gum to place that item on the tassel to make it look more beautiful. I've already plugged my hot gum in the socket. As it's getting ready, I'll just have to check if this can go around, and yes, it did. So I trimmed off the parts, the excess. Yeah. So I think my hot gum should be ready now, and I'll be using it to gum. You can see that. Yeah. This hot gum has really been very useful. You can use it for different kind of things. So as you gum, you press to make sure it stays on. Yes, that's the last part. Yeah, I was just trying to unplug my hot gum from the electric. So at this point, this is what our tassel looks like. This is what our graduation tassel looks like, made of wool. This is exactly what it looks like. Very easy to make. Very beautiful as well. We know that graduation gown comes in different colors, and for this graduation gown that I made, I used navy blue and white. So the next tassel we are going to be making, as I said earlier, is the one with a thread. You can make use of just your thread to make this tassel, and in a minute we are going to be starting off. You can see how beautiful it's looking. Very beautiful. So start by rolling up your thread the same way you did for the wool. I love this color of thread, yellow. The yellow tassel went beautifully well with a black graduation gown. So you keep rolling it just like you did initially. Roll that up. I've made so much money making graduation gowns and caps for schools, especially during their graduation periods. I have a group of schools where I get these contract jobs from. You can as well go around your area in search of schools that needs graduation gowns for their students. for their graduation ceremony. This is what I do, and every year I get contracts to sew graduation gowns or graduation stoles for students. And you can make a whole lot of money from this, because to make one graduation gown, including the cap, really costs a lot of money, and people are really cashing out from making graduation gowns and caps for schools. And because it's a very unique thing to make, not every designer is into sewing graduation gowns and caps. So you can leverage on that and make your money from it. Well, I'm sorry that I'm using this button for this tassel. I had exhausted my buttons and I was just doing this to make sure I create a video for you guys. Normally, you're supposed to use the self-covered button for your tassel, but I use this just to show you guys how to do this. So you're also going to braid as you did the first time, and because you know this is just thread, you're going to be taking it gently. And like I said before, if you don't know how to braid, please do well to twist. In all you do, just make sure you either braid or twist firmly so that you won't have it loosen up. Just like we did on the initial one, you keep doing that until you get to the lower part of your thread. So at this point, you're going to take a few strands as well, roll it over, and make sure you tie firmly, just like that. Make sure it's very strong. You can tie it as many times as possible just to ensure that it's very strong. Then go ahead to roll out also another thread of about 6 inches, just like we did before. Yes, so you cut that off, cut it. Then also remove the ones that are unequal. So at this point, what you have to do is to separate the threads that you've rolled out. So we know how threads usually stick together. So here I'm trying to separate them spread them out. I'm doing the same thing to the other one as well. So when you're done doing that, the next thing you have to do is so place the one you've braided in between. Ensure it's at the center of the threads on the table. Then also place this one on it. Make sure it's covering the braided part. Then tie right above the one you've tied initially. So you're going to be tying it very tightly. Just like that, tie it very tight. You can see I tied above the initial knot. You can tie it about 2 to 3 times. Just like that. 2 to 3 times and you are done. You can see that I'm making it very tight. So as you can see, our tassel is getting in shape. Little by little is getting in shape. So the next thing we're going to do now is to trim. I'm just trying to separate the threads, then trim. Look at that, just like that. So at that point, you're going to tie. So I'm trying to roll out a little piece of thread so I can tie that part where I just identified now. So as you can see, I've tied it up. You can see how neat it's looking. So I got this hair clip just to beautify it a bit and also cover up that part which you've tied. I got this from a salon. So make that very firm. And as you can see, our tassel is looking all beautiful. Look at that. Very neat and beautiful. Like I told you guys before, I matched this up with a black graduation gown and it was looking fine. And if you know you've learned something from this video, please like it, share it, put on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post new videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody to subscribe.